guys, thanks for watching another episode of Fishing with JC, and today I'm going to show all of my fellow anglers how to make a real simple homemade beef jerky using your oven, a few ingredients, and some thin slice of your choice meat. So stay tuned guys, and let's get into it. Alright, so you might be thinking, wait a minute, JC, what does this have to do with fishing? Well, whenever I go kayak angling, I love to snack on some beef jerky while I'm out on the water. I mean, it makes for a good, healthy snack. The only problem is that it's so darn expensive. You go to the big grocery stores or convenience stores or whatnot, and I'm not gonna name any of those big brands, but all of you know that beef jerky can really add up. So I'm gonna show you a very simple way to make your own using just a few ingredients, and it tastes really good. Whenever I get some downtime, I like to make my own beef jerky, put it in a bag, take it with me on the next adventure. So stay tuned guys, and we'll get right into the steps. So first you're gonna wanna go to your local meat market and pick your choice of meat for the jerky. I went with a simple chuck steak. It's fairly reasonable in price, and I got about 2 pounds here for close to $10. This is gonna make plenty of jerky, and I'll have plenty to store as well. Okay, so the very first step is the marinade. So this is the only part of the process that I'm not showing exactly step by step, but I will tell you exactly what I used for the marinade, and I'm just doing this for time purposes.
So I used about a cup of Worcestershire sauce. You want to match that with soy, so I also used about a cup of soy sauce. 1 tablespoon of honey, some paprika to give it that nice smoky flavor, some teriyaki, about a quarter cup of teriyaki marinade, and some crushed red pepper flakes.
Now, you can add anything else that you would want to it. So for instance, if you wanted a little more sweet, you can put some brown sugar. If you wanted a little more spicy, you can put some cayenne, but this is pretty much the recipe that I'm gonna go with, and it comes out really well. I let this marinate for about 3 hours. That's like the magic number for me. I've done it before where I let it marinate for over 24 hours, and I just don't really like the flavor for some reason as much as when it's only set for a few hours. So next, what you're going to want to do is take out your steak and pat dry it. That's really important because obviously when making beef jerky, you need that meat to dehydrate in the oven. So again, we're going to pat dry this meat, and then we're going to place it on a cooking rack. Okay, so before I start pat drying this, I'm gonna get the oven ready to go. So I'm gonna click bake, and the lowest temperature that my oven gets to is 170. I'm actually going to bake this at 175, and this process is going to take about 3.5 to 4 hours. Now, as the oven is preheating, you can also get your baking rack arranged. I use this elevated rack. That way the air can circulate all around the meat, and you won't have to be flipping your meat while it's in the oven. I'm just going to move that over here. And I'm going to start pat drying the meat and then laying them down in strips. And there's the oven, signaling that we are ready to start baking and cooking this meat.
Now it's important to give them a good pat because, again, like I said, you want this meat to dehydrate in the oven. If you don't pat it down dry, then you're not going to get that leathery beef jerky appearance. And once you have them all tied down, you can start placing them on the rack.
Okay guys, so I forgot I had taken my other cooking rack to a family member's house for dinner, so all I have is this one, but that's okay. This is still going to make a sizable amount. So what's really important here that I wanted to share with you is that it's okay if the meat is touching as long as it's not overlapping. So I filled in all the little gaps on the cooking rack there with some pieces that I cut up pretty much to the size of the gaps. Okay, so I'm going to take this batch, and this is what I'm going to put in the oven. It is going to cook for about 3.5 hours. That's about the magic number there, about 3.5 to close to 4 hours. And one thing that's really important that I forgot to mention, and I'll show you along the process, is about every 45 minutes to an hour, you want to open up the oven door to get some of that moisture out of the oven. and help with the drying of the meat. Okay, so I'm just going to pop this in. Again, my oven is preheated already to 175. Slide those in, and we'll check on them in a little bit. Okay, so it's been about 45 minutes. So again, you want to open the oven door, kind of just open and close it, get some of that moisture out, and get some new fresh air in there. So we just hit the 2-hour and 45-minute mark, and these are starting to look really good. So you may not be able to tell very much here, but they're already starting to get that leathery look, and yeah, they're coming out really well. So we have 1-hour and 15 minutes left, and we'll have ourselves some beef jerky. Okay guys, the beef jerky is finished, and Oakley seems to have a biological clock for this. He appeared right when the timer was going off because he probably wants them. Right, Oak? Let's check it out, buddy. Guys, this looks really good. It came out really nice. Here it is. So this is the consistency that I like. It's got a little bend to it, but it still feels, tastes, pulls, and rips apart like regular beef jerky. Now, a helpful tip in cutting the jerky the way you want it is just to use some shears. And some of these pieces are already in strips, so I'll just leave those alone the way they are. And you can see how they when they dehydrated, they shrunk. So some of these pieces are the ones that I used to fill those gaps on the cooking rack, and those came out in little squares. I have to try it. So good. Super good. Another one. Now, for these bigger pieces, you can see it kind of looks like some alligator skin or something. These bigger pieces, you can either cut them in strips or cut them in squares. Personally, I like little squares or rectangles. Just pop them in a little Ziploc bag, and whenever I hit the water, just throw them in the cooler. They're a lot easier to snack on. Alright guys, remember, once you get those pieces cut to the size that you like, put it in a Tupperware or a Ziploc bag so that it stays fresh for the weeks to come. I really appreciate all the support you guys give me with this channel. I hope you liked this video and that you're ready to start making some homemade beef jerky for yourself. Experiment with some flavors and tell me what you think is your favorite by leaving a comment down below. Smash that like or hit that subscribe if you please. And as always guys, peace, love, and fish on.